The Director General of Civil Aviation says that international airlines have provided verbal confirmation that they would be able to operate A380 aircrafts using the recently renovated runway at the Bandaranaike International Airport. However, views expressed by the Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Nimal Siddipala de Silva and Deputy Minister Ashoka Abeysinghe in this regard has generated a great deal of debate.
To land and take off flights, the runway needs to be at an exceptional standard. There are several international regulations pertaining to this. The International Civil Aviation Organization inspects our runway. The companies which ensure the passengers obtains these reports. The airline companies do not land their flights here if the runway is not in accordance with proper standards. It's difficult to land an A380 flight here. They had tried this once. The runway needs to be broadened. We will do that as well.
Although Subject Minister expressed his views on the broadening of the runway, the Deputy Minister revealed that it was not the runway that was widened, but the shoulders of the runway.
A380 aircraft can land at this airport without any problems. However, what we have is the 4E certificate and not the 4F certificate. To gain 4F, the runway needs to be 60 meters in width. However, what we have is a 45 meter wide runway with two shoulders of 15 meter each. The total width is 75 meters. So large aircraft can land at this airport.
Although the Subject Minister said that the A380 operations would commence following the renovation of the runway, this is what the Deputy Minister had to say.
They earlier landed large aircraft with a 45-meter runway. They took off on the same runway by simply using the inner engines. Now the aircraft can take off with all four engines running because the shoulder has been created. As the Civil Aviation Authority, we state that there will be no problems.
We spoke to aviation professionals regarding the contradictory remarks expressed by the Subject Minister and the Deputy Minister.
Aircraft that transport passengers never turn off one or more engines during takeoff or landing. We cannot say that a certain type of aircraft will be able to operate based simply on the width of the runway. There should be taxiways. There should be sufficient parking space for planes. This parking space depends on the wingspan of the aircraft. An A380 has a wingspan of 80 meters, and according to my knowledge, I don't know of a place in the BIA which can accommodate this.
When the
runway renovations were completed, the technical evaluation team from the Emirates Airlines arrived, and following their inspections, they told me verbally that they are satisfied with the runway and that A380s could operate from the airport. You will be able to see the response to all these issues and challenges within a matter of 2 months. I don't think they will be able to get international certification because the two outer engines will be able to draw sand and other types of debris. Also, we have no idea about the strength of the shoulders that were built because it is impossible to always land an aircraft at the dead center of the runway. Emirates has landed A380s at this airport on 2 previous occasions, but at that time, if something happened, Emirates would have been responsible because they knew the risks. If we increase the rating without having the necessary standards of certification, we will face a myriad of issues including high insurance costs.
The runway at the BIA was temporarily closed down for a period of 3 months from the 6th of January in order to accommodate the renovation activities. It was later revealed that Sri Lanka Airlines alone suffered a loss of around $40 million during this period. The total investment on the renovation project stood at 7.2 billion rupees.
Lanka පෞගිය කාලවල බරපතල ලෙස හෙම්බත් වී සිටියා.
Once again, through engaging in fantasy projects for leisure and to boost the egos of politicians, Sri Lanka is heading towards the fantasy culture. Those who engaged in such fantasy projects under the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime have entered this government following the political transformation. They have become ministers and they are now going back to their old habits. There is a serious issue given the massive sum of money that was spent on this project at the Katunaik International Airport. What have they done after spending 6 billion rupees? People like Nimal Siddipala used to work in the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime. So it is very simple for them to come and respond to this. We call on the government to immediately launch an investigation into this.
දේශපාලන පරිවර්තනය තුල ගෙන යන්න ඉඩ දෙන්න බෑ.